this is Russ. I'm back out on the road again. This time we're headed to the Prospect Heights Trail. We've done this before in the past, but it's been a while, and I wanted to see what it looked like with all the greenery out there. So I decided I'm going to use Google Maps this time. Let's let these cars go by first before we do anything. There's no cars behind me. All right. So, yeah, a lot of the places we go to require me to go down this path to get to certain areas. It's okay. It's okay. You know, a lot of these things that they cut, obviously they don't bag the clippings. There's no way. It's just too much. So it's typically just cut and mulched. Well, no, I don't think they're really that heavily mulched. It's just cut and left. So we see a lot of cut grass just sitting on top of grass, which is kind of pity. It kind of takes away from the nice look of the green, but I understand why they do it. I'm just glad that they cut it. I mean, it'd be worse if they didn't even cut it, right? Good morning. So yeah, this is a ride after the ride that I did yesterday, which was over 50 miles ride. I went into the North Branch Trail yesterday, heading in the opposite direction that I normally do on the Botanic Gardens. So that took me from Morton Grove, Illinois to Niles, Illinois, which is the next town over. I didn't go as deep in as I thought I would, because as I was riding it, it seemed to me that the trail was more interesting in the opposite direction, heading towards the Botanic Gardens. So it satisfied my curiosity of what's in the other direction. I think the only thing that I thought was interesting about it was you do get to see the Chicago River. But let me tell you, the Chicago River in that area, not that impressive. I've seen better things. You know, at one time, Chicago River was really a polluted river system. It was really messed up. I think they've gotten a little bit better, but still it looked pretty messy. Oh, here's a trike. That's kind of cool. We don't see too many trikes around here, but I have seen a couple. Morning. I've seen a couple of them recently, so yeah, kind of nice. I don't know if that was an electric trike though, really. I think it was just a manual trike. Here's an interesting thing we can talk about a little bit here. Let me see if I can pass these people first before we talk about it. Okay, well, maybe not. Let's just we got 3 riders in front, and then there's traffic way up ahead, but it's okay. We'll take our time. We're not in a rush today. So let's talk about this. One of our viewers had mentioned acoustic bikes. Now, he's not the only one that's mentioned this. I've seen this term given many times on various forums and groups and the like. And so I wondered, is that truly a good term to use or not? All right, I can't stand back here forever. All right, thank you. Okay, so yeah, the term acoustic bike. Now, I asked him why he used the term acoustic bike. not to be mean or anything. I just was curious why he used it. And he said that, you know, terms change over time. I don't know. I can't seem to use that term because, as you may know, I have some expertise in the areas of audio, video, and photography. I am a court-qualified expert witness for those areas. And I was certified as an expert in the Superior Court of California. So to me, the word acoustic has to do with audio-related things. I mean, if you have an electric guitar, you have an acoustic guitar, right? One that doesn't plug in. It's made out of wood. Doesn't need an amplifier. We call those acoustic guitars. So I think that term acoustic bike started coming around because people looked at it as, well, electric guitars, electric bicycles. So acoustic guitars, acoustic bicycles. Good morning. So I think that's where that term came about, and I'm not that thrilled with that term because acoustics to me is an audio term. So even if, all right, let me talk about something else. Can't find the right word. All right, this thing is telling me to take a right, so let's take a right. I'm using Google Maps right now. I typically have not used Google Maps to go to Prospect Heights Trail before, but I decided, since the bike map app does not seem to be working properly for those who don't have the premium service, I had to stop using it. And so I'm using Google Maps to see how it recommends that I go. And I've noticed too that, Google Maps over here will jump back and forth and tell you to do one thing, and then it'll change its mind and tell you to go back to do something else. It's a little frustrating. But anyways, what were we talking about? Acoustic terms? I can't seem to use that term because it seems to bother me. So even if that becomes the accepted term for non-electric bikes, I think I'm probably going to still call it non-electric bikes, or I might call it mechanical bikes. Although mechanical bikes, I don't know. I think non-electric bikes seems better. It's just me. I mean, we can call it anything we want, but this map keeps going back and forth here. Can't decide what to do. So today was supposed to rain a little bit, but I don't see it. So we're out riding today instead. The thing is, with our bad weathers going on, I've got to get my rides in while I can get it. Otherwise, we don't end up with videos to watch. Okay, so this thing says to keep going. I don't see how we could possibly keep going because it says no outlet straight ahead, and it says I have to keep on this road for a while. Okay, we cannot take Palatine Road. Not like that. Okay, we're gonna have to turn, sorry. The car was like, okay, buddy, make a decision. Yeah, we're not going down that road. Let me take a look and see where all right, we are on the drive that says, yeah, somehow it got confused and got me confused as well. This is the problem with some of the GPS programs. I mean, I could probably get there by my own. I've done it many times. I just want to see what Google Maps recommends that I should do, to see if I can trust Google Maps to go on bike trips, right? And I have Google Maps set up for the bike riding mode, which means it should be trying to pick pick streets that are more usable. So I don't know, maybe I just turned wrong. Maybe I was talking and didn't pay attention. I have no idea, but we're... It says East Anderson Drive. I know where East Anderson Drive is, but why did the map keep telling me keep going to get there? That's what I don't understand sometimes with these things. One thing that you'll notice with me is that as I'm talking and writing, sometimes I get distracted and I can't figure out what I need to do. So, and oftentimes I'll just simply stop talking for a little bit so I can collect my thoughts a little bit before I move forward. All right, this seems to make more sense now. I mean, it's going to bring us back to Palatine Road. I just didn't want to cross it over there. All right, so we're going to take a right turn over here. Here's another interesting thing I read. Somebody had mentioned that she fell recently because she was stopping. I don't know if she was stopping at a stop sign or whatever. She was stopping and she fell. So she mentioned that she understood now why I tend to do a rolling stop at stops rather than a full actual stop. Well, thank you for that. I'm sorry you got hurt, but it seems like a lot of times when people fall, a lot of times it may not necessarily be a fall from crashing into something. Sometimes it's just from stopping. Every time I've fallen, 2 of the 3 times I've fallen was because I was stopping, because I didn't have enough leg strength on the left leg due to my knee replacement, and so I fell over. The 3rd time I fell was because my shoelace got caught in the pedals, and then I could have leaned the bike to the other side, but that's my left side, and having fallen twice on the left side due to lack of leg strength because of my knee replacement, I opted to take the fall rather than lean it to the left again. So falling happens, and more often than not, it could be something as simple as stopping at a stop sign. So I do what we call rolling stops. I mean, even cars do that, Not that many cars that I know of really do a full 3-second stop. A lot of times I see them stop a little bit and then they go, right? Well, stopping even a little bit for a bike could be a little bit hazardous. It's sometimes that's what I would consider a rolling stop. I've slowed down, significantly slowed down, but I didn't actually physically stop. Now I know in some areas you can get ticketed for that. But so far, I've seen in this general area, bikes typically do it the way I do it if they stop at all. And I've even seen it where police officers were there, the bike would still do that, and they just let them go. I think if the police officer was a bike rider at one time, I think they would understand why a lot of the bikes do that. I mean, a full stop is an issue. So, at least in our area, it seems to be okay. Yeah, look at that. We're talking about stops again. It seems like we can't get away from this topic. But hey, she brought it up first on her comment, so I just wanted to at least acknowledge her comment. All right? Okay, so it wants me to take a left. I've always taken a right. I'm going to take the right. Because I know what it's going to try to do. It's going to try to get me back to Palatine Road, I believe. Because we got to cross that in order to get there. And it still wants me to go that direction. Why? I don't know. All right. I guess if you were truly following Google Maps, I should have done it the way that they told me to do it. So I guess in a sense, I'm still not following Google. I'm going based on my own instinct, on past history, I guess. I think it's going to take me on Palatine Road, which I really don't want to do as much. Let's see what it recommends. Yeah, it's going to swing me around a different way, because typically I pass Palatine Road. Over here I will take a right. It's telling me to take a left. Yeah, I don't trust that. I looked at it once before, and this is why I chose to use the Bike Map app. So I'm just going to go the way I feel like we need to go and see if Google Maps will pick up the difference for me. Usually, I don't want to be on this road. So I think it was just picking another way for me to get around it. Eventually, you're going to be on Palatine Road, but you're going to be on the easier section of Palatine Road, which they have. It's like a divided highway here, but it's got a more residential area of the road as well. And that's the one I usually take. So maybe for this particular path, I've got to go based on what I know, and then let Google Maps fill in blanks when I don't know where I'm going. Yeah, it's kind of a pain. Every map program seems to pick it a little bit differently. So what's the weather today? It's low 70s, a little bit overcast. It was expected to rain a little bit today, not all day, but a little bit today, but it didn't rain, so I figured I'd head out. Okay, based on its recommendation, I kind of know what it's going to do. It's going to set me through Lake Arlington. Now, you might remember I mentioned in the past that I don't like riding through Lake Arlington, only because there's a lot of pedestrians usually on there. But let's take it and see what it recommends. Let's see what it does. Typically, I would have turned left right here, and then I would have taken Palatine Road. But let's see what it recommends me do. So it wants me to take West Thomas Street. All right, we can do that. Now the other day, like I mentioned, I did a 50-mile ride. It's 50 plus miles. I don't know the exact number, because I ran into a Russ's right viewer. And as we were talking, of course, since I didn't touch the bike, I'm on the Rad Rover 5, and I was yesterday as well. The Rad Rover 5 will shut itself down after 5 minutes if you don't touch the bike. So my trip meter went down because of that, because it resets. The Magicycle does not reset. What it does is it maintains your trip meter. It maintains your trip meter unless you do an actual reset, unless you tell it to reset it. All right, so we're going to have to take a left over here. So I've made my signaling. Cars know I'm turning. So anyways, I think it's over 50-mile ride that I did. Usually when I go to the Botanic Gardens, going in the opposite direction of that particular ride, going there and coming back, it's about 64 miles. And I went the other way, of course, and I didn't do the full ride, so it's a shorter trip. Somebody asked me what I consider a long ride. I would say 50 plus miles, maybe, something like that. That would be a long ride, I think, for most people. Because I know a lot of people don't have two batteries; they only have one battery, and So a lot of these people might do, let's say 25 to 35 miles on their bikes before they run out of battery power. So yeah, I would say anything over 50 miles would be considered a fairly long trip. I mean, if your maximum is say 35 miles on your battery, you might consider 35 miles a long trip because you can't ride anymore because you have no more battery power. I mean, you could ride. You could. I always find myself recorrecting things I say. You could ride without the battery, but it would be a tough ride. I wouldn't want to do that. Now today, I don't have both batteries on the bike. I only have the triangle battery that's in the triangle of the frame of the bike. And that's because at this point, there's nothing that leads me to believe that this particular battery is going to fail. I've had this battery longer than the other one. And the other one, as you know, was the replacement battery that Unit Pack Power gave me when the second battery had died. That second battery was the second one that I bought that has the push button on off. And I thought it was maybe a bad push button, but it turned out to be a bad BMS board, battery management system board. And after they sent me the board and I replaced it, it still didn't work. So ultimately, I asked them for a replacement battery, and they gave me a replacement battery. So as much as I would like to take the Magicycle out for some of these longer rides, I can't do that until the Magicycle's second battery shows up. I did ask them what was taking it so long, and they mentioned that it's got to clear customs and all that stuff. I mean, these are lithium-ion batteries, and he said there's a ton of batteries coming to the U.S., but customs got to clear things and stuff. So that takes time to do. So in the meantime, because of that, I'm riding the Rad Rover to any place that's far. I mean, my preference would be to ride the Magicycle at this point because it is a stronger bike to go over hills and things. But not like the Rad Rover can't do it because it's the areas we go to that's a little farther here doesn't really have a whole lot of hills. And the Rad can perfectly do that. I hate being behind trucks too, because I'm smelling the exhaust fumes really bad here. So I'm going to let them go a little bit further ahead of us. Smelling the tar that they're using for doing that roofing tar. I don't know what you call it. So we got truck exhaust, roofing tar. All right, so this thing's telling me to turn left and at Dryden Avenue. Let's see where it takes us. So anyways, that 50 plus mile ride, getting back to that, I pedaled a lot of it. And then when I did have to throttle, I tried not to over throttle, because if I over throttle, then it eats up more battery. I tried my best to see if I could do it within one battery, but no, to be safe, I ended up switching to the second battery. I mean, you got it, why not? Okay, well, I've taken this road before to get there. So I guess it's corrected itself, but I think that first recommendation that I didn't take would have taken me directly on Palatine Road, and I didn't want to be there at that particular time. Like I said, part of it, still coughing, part of it is safe, other parts of it is not safe for a bike to be on. So I have 3 more additional days to take for the Prilosec. Let me say something about the Prilosec for acid reflux. That is the slipperiest pill in the world. When you pop it out of their container, it's got like this container of 14 days, and you got to push the pill through so that you know which days you've taken, which days you haven't, how many days you got left. But when you push that pill through that piece of I don't know if it's cardboard or thick paper, I guess. When you push it through, that pill is so slippery. I've dropped at least 3 or 4 of the pills onto the floor simply because it was so hard to hold. It's a long, narrow, thin, slippery pill. They need to find a better way of doing that because it's just a little too slippery for me. All right. It says take a left at Windsor Drive. Which is coming up in 300 feet, so I'll have to signal a little bit here. And I need to take a left turn here. There's a lot of cars here. Yeah, it's a slightly different way of going. I have not taken it down this way before. So let's see where it brings us. Now again, what I've done is I've picked a home that's close to the opening of the trail, because if I can put an actual street address, it tends to find things better for me. I mean, I don't know if you can do it on Google Maps. I've never tried it, but where you can do an intersection, like this street intersecting with this other street. Can you do that? I don't know if you can or you can't. I think actual house address is a little easier. So what I did is I searched that area, found a house that's roughly within that area, and then put that number in there. I tend to do that for most of the map things that I do. So what is this? I think this is Palatine Road, if I'm not mistaken. So if you take a look over there, there's, I don't know if you can see it over there, where that orange Jeep just crossed. That's the fast part. And then right over in this area, there's a slower road that does 30 miles an hour. The other one does 45. So part of it has that slower road and part of it doesn't. So I think if it would have taken me earlier, I'd have to ride that fast road. I wouldn't want to do that. Okay, so we got to go 0.2 miles. Typically, if I got traffic, you'll see that I will throttle heavier. I don't like being on the road with the fast cars, and so I try my best to get off of it as fast as I can. So there's no outlet, but this is the one it wants me to take. So let's take it. Turn left and turn right. What does that mean? Yeah, this doesn't take me anywhere. Told me to take this road. Okay, it tells me to take this road, and now it's gotten me in a cul-de-sac. This is the problem. that is the actual road it told me to take. So it told me to take it, gave me a little view of this road, then tells me to continue back on where I was. How does that make any sense? Okay, so this is Lake Arlington. So what was it expecting me to do? Cut through somehow? I don't know. So ultimately, it's going to take me into Lake Arlington. All right, let's do it, because that's the only way to get through it at this point. All right, let's go this way and turn right over here. The other one was too sharp of a turn to take. Yeah, right up ahead here. It was too sharp for me to take it, so I just went around it. I mean, Lake Arlington is nice, but I've been on here once before where there were so many walkers. So it says walking on one side, biking on the other. So the one side that I'm on is supposedly the biking side, and the other side that people are on is the walking side. Biking lane, no walking. It's confusing. If you look at their sign, I mean, it's not quickly something that you can quickly figure out what they're trying to say. I think the drawing is a little weird. Okay, the signs are up ahead here, so let's take a look at the signs here. So the sign says walking lane, that side on the left, biking lane, this side on the right, no walking. Now, if everyone followed that, it would be good. But I found before in the past, a lot of people who walk don't follow that. They still walk on here on the right side. Okay, we got all the baby geese, which are growing up now. Yeah, geese can be kind of mean. They'll come after you if you're not careful. I see some guys on the, let me slide this over. I don't know if you guys can see that. Guy's rowing at a really long. It's almost like the boat is designed for multiple rowers, but he's out there by himself rowing one of those, like, I don't know, what do you call that? One of those the boats that you race with multiple people in it. Is there a name for those type of boats? I don't know what they're called. Yeah, Lake Arlington's like long and narrow. Yeah, we are just keeping pace with this guy here. So how fast is he going? He's going about, I don't know, 9 or 10 miles an hour or something like that. Okay, that goose wants to cross, but kind of stopped him. You see him do that little quick paddling around. Now, I know that you can exit on a couple of these areas and get off the path, but this thing says keep going. I suppose this might be a safer route
600 feet, turn right toward East Town Boulevard.
Than previous routes I've taken to get there.
Turn right toward East Town Boulevard, then continue onto East Town Boulevard.
Okay.
Continue onto East Town Boulevard, then turn left onto North Lake Arlington Drive.
All right. So I know where I am at this point.
Turn left on North Lake Arlington Drive.
Well, Google Maps got me there, but did a couple of weird things.
Turn right on the North Shore Road.
The weirdest one, of course, is telling me to turn into the cul-de-sac just to turn around and get back on the same road that I was on. That made no sense. All right, so I'm going to take you guys up to the path, and then we'll cut us off for the rest of this day, and then we'll continue on the path on the next day. That way the videos don't have to be extremely long, but we'll get to see all of the ride. Yeah, it's a nice cool day. I like it when it's around 70 degrees. Overcast 70 degrees is the best. This is the sun's coming out a little bit now.
North Shore Road, then sharp left on the Prospect Heights bike path.
All right, so I'm gonna go here, and let me just turn in here real quick.
Heights bike path, then turn right to stay on Prospect Heights
So
bike
this
path.
is where I get onto the path.
Turn left to stay on Prospect Heights bike path.
All right, so I'm gonna shut the map off in a second here. The map is trying to get me to the house number that I put down, but we're on the path at this point. All right, anyways, I hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe so you can see more rides. We're gonna do the actual ride through here on the next day. Talk to you guys next time.